Hi, I'm Mary Pope Osborne, author of the Magic Treehouse series. And today I'm going to read to you from Dolphins at Daybreak. In this story, the treehouse takes Jack and Annie to the middle of the ocean. The ocean is a wonderful place. Did you know that it covers more of the world than land does? Almost twice as much. And not only is the ocean home to dolphins and sharks, but millions of other sea creatures. What kind of creatures do you think Jack and Annie might encounter on this adventure? Let's find out together. In Dolphins at Daybreak, Jack and Annie end up on a coral reef. And they get inside a little mini submarine that's sitting on the reef. They don't know why it's there. They're just going to have a big adventure somehow. And they get into the mini sub and, oops, said Annie. What's wrong? Jack looked up. Annie was waving her hands in front of a computer screen. The screen showed a map. What's going on? Said Jack. I just pressed a few keys, said Annie. What? I said not to touch anything, said Jack. An air blower came on. The mini sub jerked backward. Oh, get out, said Jack. He and Annie scrambled for the hatch. Jack grabbed the handle, but they were too late. The mini sub slid off the reef. Then it dove silently down into the deep. You can see it now. Jack and Annie in the mini sub. Annie's looking out the window. Boy, what's going to happen next? You've really done it now, Annie, said Jack. Sorry, but look out the window. Look, said Annie. Forget it. We have to figure this out. Jack stared at the computer. He saw a row of pictures at the top of the screen. What did you do? He asked. I just pressed the on button, said Annie. The screen lit up and I pressed the starfish. That must be the command to go under the water, said Jack. Yeah, then the map came on, said Annie. Okay, the map shows the reef, said Jack. Look, there's the mini sub on the map. It's moving away from the reef. It's like a video game, said Annie. I bet I know what to do. Annie pressed a key with an arrow pointing right. The mini sub on the screen moved right. The real mini sub turned to the right too. Great, said Jack with relief. You press the arrows to steer the mini sub, so now we can go back. Oh, no, not right away, said Annie. It's so beautiful down here. We have to get back to the reef, said Jack. His eyes were still glued to the computer screen. What if the owners find it gone? Look out the window, said Annie, just for one teeny second. Jack sighed. He pushed his glasses into place and looked out. Oh, man, he said softly. Outside the glass, the world was strange and beautiful. It looked like another planet. The mini sub was moving past red, yellow, and blue coral, past little coral mountains, valleys, and caves, past fishes of every color and size. Can't we stay a little while? The answer to Morgan's riddle must be here, said Annie. Jack nodded slowly. She might be right, he thought. Besides, when would they ever get to visit a place like this again? There were fish everywhere, floating over the swaying seagrass, eating on the white sandy bottom, peeping out of coral caves. Some kinds of coral look like blue fingers or lacy fans. Others look like deer antlers or lettuce leaves or mushrooms or trees. Jack read in the book. Coral reefs are only found in warm tropical waters. Nearly 5,000 different species of fish live around coral reefs in the Indian and Pacific Oceans. Jack pulled out his pencil and notebook. He started to make a list. Coral reef research, warm water, over 5,000 kinds of fish. Look, said Annie. The sub floated past a huge starfish, then a pink jellyfish, then a blue seahorse. Jack added to his list starfish, jellyfish, seahorses. What is that? Said Annie. Jack saw a creature that looked like a giant pancake with a long tail. A stingray, said Jack. He put that on his list as well. And that, said Annie? She pointed at the biggest shell Jack had ever seen. It was as big as a footstool. I'll have to check on that one, said Jack. He turned the pages of the ocean book. When he got to the page about clams, he read aloud. The giant clam of the coral reef is 3 feet wide and weighs up to 200 pounds. Wow, said Annie. No kidding, said Jack. He added giant clam to his list. Dolphins, cried Annie. Jack looked up. 2 dolphins were peering in the window. They tapped their noses against the glass. Their eyes were bright. They seemed to be smiling. Jack laughed. It's like we're in a fish tank and they're looking at us, he said. Their names are Suki and Sam, said Annie, sister and brother. You're nuts, said Jack. Here's a kiss for you, Suki, Annie said. She pressed her lips to the glass as if she were kissing the dolphin's nose. Oh, brother, said Jack. But the dolphin opened her mouth and tossed her head. She seemed to be laughing. Hey, I know the answer to the riddle. Dolphins, said Annie. They're gray and plain, and they have great beauty inside. Here are Suki and Sam staring through the window of the treehouse so Jack and Annie can see them through the glass, see? You forgot the rough as rock part, said Jack. Dolphin's skin looks smooth and slippery. Oh, right, said Annie. The dolphins flipped their tails. They swam off into the light blue water. Wait, don't go, called Annie. Suki! But the dolphins were gone. It's time for us to go too, said Jack. He was afraid someone might be looking for the mini-sub. But we haven't solved the riddle, said Annie. Jack studied the bright underwater world. I don't see the answer, he said. There's nothing plain at all out there. Then maybe the answer's in the mini-sub, said Annie. They looked around the tiny space. I'll check the computer, said Jack. He studied the row of pictures at the top of the screen. He pressed the book picture. The words ship's log flashed onto the screen. What's a ship's log, said Annie. It's a diary of an ocean trip, said Jack. He peered at the computer screen and read a log entry. Monday, July 5. Hey, that was just last week, said Jack. He read further. Collected rock and shell samples. Mapped ocean floor. Found tiny crack in hull. This is like your notebook, said Annie. Yeah, the oceanographer was writing notes in the computer, said Jack. Jack and Annie read further. Tuesday, July 6. Crack has widened. Must return to reef soon. A crack where? Said Annie. I don't know, said Jack. He read further. Wednesday, July 7. More tiny cracks. Cannot be fixed. Heading back to reef today. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good, said Jack. He read further. Thursday, July 8. Defective sub. Return to reef. Leave for helicopter to transport to junkyard. Defective? Means broken, right? Said Annie. Yup, said Jack. So this sub is broken, right? Said Annie. Yup, said Jack. And it was waiting to be taken away by a helicopter to a junkyard. Yikes, said Annie. Now we really have to get back, said Jack. Let's try pressing the waves picture. She pressed the waves picture on the computer screen. The mini sub began to rise slowly. Oh, good, said Jack. The sub went past a small coral mountain. It went past schools of fish and waving plants. Oh, gasped Annie. Jack gasped too. 2 eyes were staring out from behind a giant sea plant. They looked human, except they were as big as golf balls. What are those? Sputtered Annie. Don't ask, said Jack. They stared back at the plant. Just then, a long arm came out from behind it. Then another arm came out. Then another, and another, and another, and another, and another, and another. Jack and Annie stared in horror at the giant octopus. It's coming after us, said Annie. Slowly, the octopus crept through the water. Its 8 arms reached for the mini-sub. Uh-oh. You'll have to read the rest of the book to find out what happens. And it isn't just an octopus that comes along with this story. Also, a hammerhead shark. So I don't want to say any more. I just want you to have a wonderful summer adventure reading Dolphins at Daybreak.